What is up, denizens of YouTube? Been a while since I've done a long form video. Not that this is going to be terribly long, but longer than a reel, so here we are. There's been a lot of stuff going on in gaming since the last time I made a video. Been all sorts of controversies, if you will. And the one that is fresh on my mind right now, just because I think it's freaking hilarious, is God of War voice actor Christopher Judge at the Game Awards. He took a shot at the Call of Duty developers when he said that his acceptance speech from last year's award show was going to be longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign. And apparently a lot of the folks behind Call of Duty are just up in arms about it, and they're taking to Twitter, which I refuse to call X, and voicing their displeasure. And one of them said something along the lines of, well, basically in a nutshell, our game outsells yours like, 20 to 1 and all this other stuff, and has higher player engagement, which really I don't think that's much to brag about, considering that it's nothing but, Call of Duty isn't really Call of Duty anymore. It's been gun porn 2K for years now. And really, my whole thing is, once the servers go down for Call of Duty, any entry into the franchise, that's going to be it. There's not going to be any reason to go back to it. Whereas the classic the classic God of War games, going all the way back to the original one on PlayStation 2, is still highly replayable. Whether you choose to play that on PS2 or if you play it on one of the compilations on PlayStation 3. But the point is, there's still amazing art, amazing voice acting, amazing action, amazing sequences, memorable boss fights. Hold on a second. Yes, children?
Hey YouTube!
Okay. Well, YouTube, you've met my children now, or at least two of the three. The 22-year-old lives on his own. Okay, now. The life of being a parent. Anyway, they're like, yeah, we just wanted to be part of your YouTube video, Dad. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, as I was saying, the God of War games as standalone experiences are far more memorable than anything Call of Duty has ever produced. And, another exception that some of them are taking. Hold on. My kiddos are determined that I'm not going to make this video in peace. They were playing until they realized I was making a video. But another exception that they were making was that they were saying, this award show is to celebrate games and gaming experiences, and we felt like that was just, really a low blow, and it was uncalled for. And I would just say to the Call of Duty developers, it's like, your games are kind of a joke year in and year out. You think if you can make a joke, you can take a joke, right? I don't think I've cared about Call of Duty as a franchise myself since the PlayStation 2 era. Back when they still focused on campaigns and intriguing stories and, just making it an immersive experience instead of just being a place for multiplayer shootouts. As I said, gun porn. That's all it's been for a long time. Anyway, while I'm doing this, I did get a couple of packages in from Whatnot. And go ahead and crack these open. We'll talk about some other things. Another big deal that's been going on lately is the whole controversy with the Completionist and his Halo 2. Oh wow, even has the little cards and extras in it. That's pretty cool. I forgot I ordered that. And his charitable foundation called the Open Hand Foundation, which I just find endlessly hilarious, considering that he held out his open hand and was taking money. And he and his foundation and his family got busted for running this franchise under the auspices of contributing to organizations that do dementia research in honor of his late mother, who died of dementia. And it turns out they had collected, I think, well over $600,000, and it came out after some enterprising YouTube content creators did some digging into public records and tax records and found out not a single dollar had been donated. And when that came out, I think the guy's name was Gerard. Honestly, it's I'd never even heard of the guy before the whole damn thing blew up. I didn't know who he was, never watched his channel, never cared to. Frankly, because I don't like watching people play video games. If that's your thing, more power to you. You know, get your joy wherever you can, but I don't know. That's why I don't watch streamers, and I want to play video games. I don't want to watch other people do them. And I certainly don't want to read chat room conversations or listen to them while I'm doing so. But anyway, you know, it sucks because after he got busted, right now they've just been radio silent for quite a while now. They haven't responded to anything. And if you go onto his channel, which I have, and look at some of his videos, oh my Lord, he is getting absolutely blowtorched in the comments section. They're lighting him up over, you know, basically, where's my money, Brian? Where's my money? You know, honestly, at this point, he's been saying, oh, the money's still there. We just haven't found an organization that we feel like is worthy yet. And like, despite the fact that he was saying all along that he was contributing to, I think it was UC San Francisco's dementia research, and like literally naming these people as beneficiaries of their charitable foundation. I'm like, well, why not just give the money to them, to the people you said you've been giving it to? My theory, of course, or not so much a theory as an opinion. A theory is more of an educated guess, and my guesses are certainly far from that. I think they pocketed it. I think the reason they haven't said anything by now and why they haven't just handed the money over is because it's not there. And it really sucks because a lot of people trusted this guy. They thought he was on the up and up. They thought his foundation was on the up and up. And I don't know, I feel bad for the organizations whose names got drawn into this because they certainly would have liked to have had the money. And I don't know. And to me, it damages the odds of any other legitimate online charities and you know, YouTube personalities running shows for charities. It damages their ability to do so because people are now like, well, you know, we thought this guy was on the up and up. He's huge, has a big following. We thought he was trustworthy. He completely wasn't. It's going to make people think twice. It's going to turn into, you know, kind of the many paying for the sins of the few, you know, and it absolutely is just, it's disgusting. I don't know how people like that live with themselves. What else? Oh, got a blue, actually a teal, which is my favorite color, Xbox One controller. And I got this from Neil Nabel on Whatnot. Got the damn thing for $5. Now, he said he hasn't tested it out, but keys feel good, buttons feel good. Doesn't seem to be any stick drift. This sucker works. I think I will have gotten a pretty good deal considering I think they're still like, you know, $40 to $50 at GameStop. So anyway, thanks, Neil. But yeah, I feel like there was one more story going on in game. Oh, yeah, the whole Sony digital content removal debacle. I don't know if you'd heard about this. I don't see how you haven't at this point. But there were folks who had purchased Discovery Channel content through the PlayStation Store, and Sony, I guess they lost the rights or lost the partnerships, however that works at the corporate level. And they sent out an email saying, well, you know, we know you purchased these things, but we're taking them off the store and, you know, you're not going to be able to access them. They will no longer be in your libraries, which brings me to a point I've been making for the longest time about digital content. Folks, if you can buy a physical version, I know a lot of folks are like, well, I don't want to have to store it. I don't have space. Okay, cool. But if you do have the space and you do have the wherewithal to buy physical, because these types of shenanigans can't go on if you buy physical. It's not like Sony can come into your house and pull down your whatever show, their Shark Week content. If you have it sitting on DVD on your shelf, they can't come yank it down. Buy physical, because when you have digital, you never really own it. And of course, some in the gaming industry would say that even if you have physical, that you don't own it. I remember when you remember the Don Matrick debacle when the Xbox One was unveiled. I was online at the time. I think it was being shown at E3 back when that was still a thing. And I somehow ended up in a conversation with Cliff Blazinski, of all people, Cliffy B. And I made the comment that I was rabidly anti-DRM because if I buy a game, I should own the game. And he's like, no, you shouldn't. That's not true. I completely disagree. And we ended up with a back and forth, and I don't understand why he was taking time out of his schedule to interact with me, an internet nobody, but he did. And it was relatively cordial, as diplomatic as it can be. And I made the retort that, well, I agree that if you buy a copy of a game, you're not entitled to be able to make copies of the game and sell that. I agree with that. You don't own the code that's on the disc. You don't. I can agree with that. But where he and I disagreed was that when you buy a physical copy of something, you do buy a permanent license. For as long as you own that, you own the license to the content that's on that disc. But anyway, apparently what Sony's showing is that when you buy digital, that's not the case. It can be taken away from you at any point. So again, buy physical. Buy physical, buy physical, and bye-bye. Have a great day, y'all.